be shared to all. Now we begin. In this presentation, it will be in two parts. The first part, we would look at what AGRIS is, and then the second part, we would like to look at the various searching options that have been implemented years before, and some of the search functionalities that have been improved lately. And also we would want to take a little bit of time and see a new feature that we just implemented recently, the ability for people to create their profiles on AGRIS. But mainly our focus is on searching and on what AGRIS is. For the first part, we want to look at the quick facts about AGRIS. So AGRIS was started in 1975 to enhance the visibility of agricultural publications produced worldwide. So where were these publications coming from? These publications were coming from government agencies, universities, research centers in agriculture from different countries. We have to appreciate that earlier than in 1975, the chance of some of the visibility of agricultural produce which could not see their light in the publication workflow in scholarly publications as journals was not possible to be seen. In those years, it was an initiative that was started to bring to fore some of this research, which some of it was very, very good and we heavily relied on. So in practice, this core bibliographic repositories was contributed by partners, compiled and disseminated by FAO. So in the beginning, it was a list of bibliography on paper, and then improvements were made on CD, and now it is in a portal. So to that, what AGRIS is. AGRIS today is, the term AGRIS really refers to the International System for Agricultural Science and Technology. Agricultural science here, we encompass various definitions of agriculture, meaning natural resources, environment, crop science, animal science, water. I mean, as how FAO defines, or the Food and Agriculture Organization defines science. We have also technology, because there are some agricultural technology related subjects that are there. So agriculture has grown also to be cross-disciplinary in a way. So today, AGRIS, we see it in two aspects: as a collection of multilingual bibliographic resources. In some cases, this collection being sort of a national repository of agricultural materials, being that in some cases, some national database might not be existing. So AGRIS therefore becomes a more structured and concise collection of this bibliographic output of produced literature in those countries. It is a network of more than 350 institutions from 144 countries, and it is maintained by the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations. Currently, it is a portal where you can access these online. We have also given you the URL, which I'm sure most of you are aware. So who uses AGRIS? AGRIS is used by graduate students, by lecturers, researchers in academic institutions. You might want also to know that it is also used by librarians, catalogers, and other information professionals, publishers and professional associations, and government officials. Currently, when we look at figures, we have more than 10,000 registered people on AGRIS. As we are going to see in this discussion, you will see these numbers of people. Who are they? Most of them are students, most of them are researchers, mostly in developing countries and also in the Western Hemisphere. AGRIS is heavily used also by the members of the public, because we could see this in terms of statistics. We can able to tell that AGRIS is used in the sense that we have monthly more than 500,000 visits, which is actually good. So it shows that AGRIS is heavily used by a lot of people in the world. So it's a very stable database that has been used many times science by colleagues in agriculture and research. So it is a very interesting tool. So if you put your records on Agris, you will definitely be sure that the visibility of your collection is really high. As I'm speaking, I will let you know also on the numbers that are there on Agris. Let's see if I can get to the numbers so that you will be able to notice Agris. I will share with you now the screen that will help you to see the numbers on Agris. So we want to go to share my screen. Okay, so you will see now here I have the Google Analytics. What does it show us? It shows that in the last 7 days, as you can see, we have 163,000 visitors that have come on Agris. Let's look at traffic here. You can see that. Let's just check for a month. So the month of September. There we are. So we see in the month of September, we had more than 713,000 sessions coming from a number of sources. Some of it is direct sources, some of it is referrals. So there we are. We have 525,923 and referral traffic. What does this mean? It means that Agris is really used by a lot of people. Let's just check a little bit on audience. It is a bit of breakdown of Agris. We have a number of sessions, number of page views are close to 1 million. This is an interesting setup. These are top countries that have viewed Agris in the month of September: China, United States, and India. So it is a really heavily used database that we really are thankful to all the contributors of this content. So what is in Agris? Agris is currently made up of 9 million multilingual bibliographic records available in the languages that are shown on the screen. You are able to see the languages there, and then what does it mean? What it means is that 1.9. Okay, some are asking for the volume to be loud. 1.9 million records provide links to the full access of the text. So what does let's break down the content in Agris. The content in Agris, as you can see there, we have books, about 34,000, bibliographies, about 368,000, conference papers, over 287,000. But mostly, Agris is made up of over 60% by journal articles. And this for us is a very good reflection, because it contains very good scholarly content in the field of agriculture and science and technology. What are the other aspects of Agris? The other aspect of Agris is that all records in Agris are indexed with Agribot keywords, and Agris provides details of data providers which are hosted on the SIA tree. So we have a directory of our people or of our data providers on SIA tree. We will see in the search functionality how this is seen on the actual record. So we would like very much for our data providers, if they are logged on to this webinar, to be able to understand this, because this allows them to update their records and also to be able to get the queries directly coming to them in case somebody wants a full text of the content that they hold. Agris, as we have seen, supports multilingualism. We will see in our search how this goes. And users can create personal profiles, and users can bookmark the records, meaning that once a user is conducting a search on Agris, currently they will be able to retain their personalized page when they can do so. We will also be able to show you this. This is the Agris portal, that is the logon page. Let's look at the features of the logon page as we move into part 2, how the content itself is organized. We will go back now to the live platform of Agris so that you'll be able to see this. Sure, you see it now. Here on the screen, you are seeing the portal live Agris. This is a search box where you can search, and then a link to the advanced search. If you see here on top, we have recreated register or log in. So if you want to create a user profile, you come here and you click register. Since I have a registration, I will sign in so as to show you the back end. So at this rate now, I'm signed in here. When I'm signed in here and do all my search here, what it means is that I'm able to save my searches. So I've just typed in there a word, but let me show you the back end. Here you will see my profile. You will also be seeing my search history, which is here. I just typed in rice at this current moment, and then if I click here, it will take me to all the history that I have shown. It will show you my browsing history if I have browsed, and also if I've saved my applications. So it's actually a very useful, concept for those that are doing searches that are very serious. Maybe you're doing studies and you want to maintain your track of your records. In this way, you could be able to do so. Anyway, we will invite you also to play around this, create your profile if you not have it now, and then let's get searching. Now, let's focus on our second part of our presentation from the simple search of Agris via the Agris interface. So the four-step approach is already on our profile. You search on Agris, you can refine your search, you can get your bibliographic data, then you can access your resource. Then there are features on the Agris search page that we would want you to be aware of. Some of them we have changed them recently, and some of them have been there traditionally. For example, this is the search interface I've shown you before. When you do your search interface or do search, so if you type in here rice like I've typed on the screen, you will be able to see the search results. We have moved to the functions to refine your results to the right and kept the results here to the left, to the middle, to the left. This allows you to see your results, as you can see in the highlights, number of records that you have, and then you can browse these records going down. Now, let's assume you choose the first record to see the features of a record. Here, the first is the record source. What it means is that this record of Agris comes from this contributor. For example, this record, performance of rice systems, integration, and organic carbon storage, comes from the USDA library. Then you will have the title of the record, you will have the author information. We have improved also the author information by listing 4 authors and then putting a tally in case there are more authors. You would have seen in the previous setup, we had a list of so many authors, and sometimes this will distract people to the actual other elements of the record. Then we have the abstracts. Also, the abstract has been made a little bit limited. You see the blue link that is there. If you can click there, you will see the full listing of the abstract, if the abstract is that long. Then you will see the AgriVoc keywords. The AgriVoc keywords will be listed there, and then this is other subjects that might be assigned in number 6. If you can access the record, you can see the access to the full text link that we have put, so you can click on that particular link. Also, you can save this record for those that are actually searching using other bibliographic databases like EndNote. They can download the metadata of this specific record in the formats that are given. And number 9, you can directly link to Google Scholar from that. So these are the simple functions. There are more. For example, if I were to click on any Agris record, it will show you below here from which journal it comes from, and the other information such as in language and when this record was actually deposited on Agris. So the record template or the record format of Agris has been reinforced to show as much information from the bibliographic metadata that we get from our users. Now let's do a little bit of some searches so that we see the functionalities of these items that we just discussed. So bear with me because I will share again my screen so you'll be able to see. Let's go to a search functionality and let's just type in maize as a topic. There we go. We have retrieved about 108,000, so we can scroll down and see. We have improved also the number of features here. You can see here on the icon, you are able to see if this is an article, if also this is a conference paper, you will see this little interesting sign here. I'm zooming so that you can see this. This shows that it's a conference paper, and also you will scroll down and see. Let's choose one of the papers here. I will choose this one. This is an example of a paper. It comes from here USDA, and then this is the title of the paper. These are the authors. This is the abstract. It's a very long abstract like I mentioned, so we reduce it to size. These are Agrivore keywords, and then this is the journal where it comes from and other information. So this has been actually the latest record that has been put in place. I have shown you also in the previous slide that you'll be able to see, to click here and see more information. Let's see where it takes us. So we move from this record, it takes us to the CRD. We are able to see the details about the National Agricultural Library, where this record is stored. What is the value of this? The value of this is that we are able to, assuming this record was not available, we are able to get this record, to ask for USDA to provide us a copy of this record. But in this case, this record is available. If we click full access here, here is the record. We can try to get it from here. Now, we go back to search. Agris also allows you to search specific phrases. Okay, rice cultivation in China, for example. So it allows to give us a specific example. Here is the one that talks about different cultivation, the first article. There it is. So you are able to read about rice cultivation in China. So we did a phrase searching, and we are able to get. And another feature that has been shown is that if there are articles from the same journal, you can be able to see them here and browse them. And then there's a related information on the Google. You can also use this site to be able to find. So a lot of the functions have been improved for your ability. I asked at the beginning that if you are registered, because I'm searching as a registered user, you will see here it clicks Add to Save publication. If I click here, I have saved this publication under my profile. So if I go back here and choose another search, another record, maybe I'm interested in this record again, I can click and look at this record, and then I will be able to see. You will see another interesting aspect that has been changed in the abstracts. You can have the objective of the abstract, the method, and the result in case if this comes with the record we received. So here is another record, and let's assume I like this record. I have saved this record. So what happens with all these records I've saved? Go to my account, served publications, you will see these are the records I've been searching for in here. So this is AgriSearch. You are able to search through here from the directly from the platform, and we are able to retrieve these records, and we have seen the features of the record. Okay, now let's go back and look at advanced search and see what do we have for advanced searching. Let's go back to our presentation here with me. Okay, so with advanced searching, this is simple search. With advanced searching, you can use the advanced searching for Agris, and this is going to be very interesting for our data providers because our advanced searching functionalities allows them also to be able to browse records in a much more deeper sense. So there are three aspects we're going to look at. We're going to accessing advanced search on Agris, the features of the advanced search, and then how you can develop your search strategy and be able to do so. So the first aspect of accessing the advanced search is that it is now clearly now in the Agris portal, just below the general search bar, you are able to get the Agris advanced search. When you click on it, it will take you to the features of advanced search. You can search on the left-hand side, and then you can refine on the right-hand side. So what we want to do now, we want to be able to go again to the advanced search and perform a little bit of some searches and see how we can use this to our advantage. Here we are on AgriSearch. Choose Get Advanced. Let's try to search for wheat. There we go. So you would see that on your left-hand side, you have all the records for wheat, and then on the right-hand side, you are filtering records. Let's assume I want to search for wheat, and I want only records that I can get full text to. So what we're going to do now, I'm going to filter this by full text. If you come here and say apply your filters, and you see filter records that contain explicit to full text, and click refine. There we go. So you will see in our previous search, we had 182,000 records, but when I filter by full text, we have 37,000. Now, there's another interesting part about the filtered records. Here it shows you the value of which is an editorial article. You found it here. It has two icons for full text, which means you have two locations that you can get this article from. So in this case, you will locate it here. So here, first of all, we found it on the National Agricultural Library. Let's see also on the second one if we can find it. Yes, we can find it on the National Agricultural Library. Then it shows that this record is available. Then when you would have seen that in some cases here it shows you a link that is not found. What it means is that Agris has just pointed to you to the link of the online record. So we cannot guarantee you that where we point to, you could find the record, but we would have shown you where to find the record. Okay, so now let's try to search now. Let's assume we are now playing around with the filters. I want to know about what is on Agris published in Russia. Okay, let's try to say rice. Okay, here is rice, and then I choose the country here. Let's go to Russia. Okay, so you will see here Russian Federation. You will have a number of we will have a number of specific centers, but here Russia Federation all, and we will refine search. So in other means that all the records that are here discussing on specific subject as rice from all the centers in Russia are here, and you can find them here. So you can also then browse these. Then also you are able to filter records by language. Now, let's say we want to search about potatoes. We have 48,000, but let's see the language we want to search in French. Let's see where we can. Here we are, we will find the records that are coming from France that have this title. And then we are able to search. I want to search perhaps only in the specific journals. I don't want to search in thesis. Just want to search in specific records type. Remember, we have said Agris collects a number of records. So if you come to content type and you choose here, you will see bibliography, book, conference, journal article, thesis, and the other. You are able to search in this particular conference. Let's see, we will be able to search about maize published in books, for example. So let's go search, then let's refine here by book. Okay, there it goes down. So we have 100 records in Agris that talks about maize in their books. Let's try to see whether we can open the first one. There we go. We have this one. It's a book. We can access this. Here it is. And let's see whether we can open this book. Going straight to Add Econ Search. Let's see, here it is. My internet connection is better. Here it is. So we are able to download this publication via Agris. So it is simply as that. And then you could be able to look at the range. Let's assume it's Agris records that are talking about rice in 2016 and 2017. Rice in 2016 to 2017. Let's see what has been the latest that has been there. So we have 2,500 records. Here they are. And interestingly enough, most of the records that come in 2000 recently, they have access to full text. Here it is, background, results, conclusion, which is what I noted, that the latest record comes in a bit of a very structured manner. So we are able to improve, and we are able to particularly search before I go back to my screen, let's look at also ability to use Boolean operators. What do you mean by Boolean operators? When you are searching in most records, the most databases accept somebody can use Boolean operators. Here, let's try to search these using Agris. Let's see whether we can do that. Get advanced search. I want to search for wheat, but not rice. Okay. So what it means is that Agris has filtered. So let's see, if I search for wheat alone, I get 182,000 records. But if I say not rice, it means it goes to 173. So Agris in this way has filtered records that had wheat and rice and removed those that do not have. Let's assume I want to talk about food security, and rice. So here it is. You will find that this is searched for records that has got both the concept, food security, and right. So the AND operators allows users to be able to mix two concepts in a search string. So if we say not, which means you are excluding rice. Let's see also if we say or. Remember here we have 1,600 records when we used AND. When we use or, we have 666. What does that mean? With or operator, it means that we are including everything, food security or rice. So let's remember we can do a search on Agris using the Boolean operator, the AND, or not. AND limits to specific. Not means we exclude something that we do not want to search for. and or it means we open up to everything. So in this whole presentation, we have seen that Agris allows search for Boolean operators, which is conventional in most databases that we see today. So we have looked at search terms, keyword searching, phrase searching, and or not. So here's an example that I've just shown you. And then, so we have some practical exercises we can send you later for you to do. Some of them we have done. But for now, I will stop and ask for your questions.